When people think of the United States, they picture the coasts, the deserts, or the big cities, but between all of that lies a massive region most travelers completely ignore, the Midwest and the mountain states, and that's exactly where some of America's most breathtaking, hidden gems are hiding. Today, we're uncovering 10 places in the heart of the USA that are wild, cinematic, peaceful, and almost never crowded. For most of the year, Lake Superior feels endless and powerful, but during the coldest winters, something extraordinary happens. Along the Apostle Island shoreline, massive sandstone cliffs freeze into towering ice caves, icicles hang like crystal curtains, frozen waves crawl up the rock walls, and the lake turns into a silent, glassy highway. Walking through these ice caves feels unreal, like stepping inside a frozen cathedral carved by nature itself. Few people ever experience this place because it only forms under perfect winter conditions. It's one of the rarest natural phenomena in the Midwest, and one of the most unforgettable. Hidden inside the Black Hills is a landscape that feels more like the American West than the Midwest. Custer State Park is home to rolling granite hills, scenic drives, crystal-clear lakes, and massive herds of free-roaming bison that sometimes block the road completely. Drive the Needles Highway at sunrise and you'll pass towering rock spires glowing orange in the morning light. Stop at Sylvan Lake, and you'll find mirror-like reflections framed by pine forests and stone formations. Despite its beauty, Custer State Park stays quiet compared to nearby national parks, making it a true hidden gem. In Michigan's Upper Peninsula lies one of the most underrated wilderness areas in the entire country. The Porcupine Mountains stretch along Lake Superior with dense forests, deep river valleys, and endless hiking trails. From the famous Lake of the Clouds overlook, you'll see a massive forest canopy roll toward the horizon like a green ocean. In autumn, the entire region explodes into fiery reds, oranges, and golds. In summer, waterfalls carve through the forest in complete silence. The Sawtooth Mountains don't just look dramatic, they feel dramatic. Jagged peaks rise sharply above alpine lakes so clear they reflect the sky like glass. Hiking here feels wild and raw, yet accessible enough for travelers who want true mountain scenery without heavy crowds. At sunrise, the peaks catch the light and glow pink, while fog floats over the valleys below. By night, the sky fills with stars. No light pollution, no noise, just silence. Many travelers skip Idaho entirely, not realizing it hides some of the most cinematic mountains in the U.S. Most people associate the Badlands with South Dakota, but North Dakota's Badlands are just as striking and far less visited. Here, layered rock formations stretch across the landscape like natural sculptures shaped by wind and time. The Little Missouri River cuts through the terrain, creating contrast between rugged cliffs and green valleys. Hike the backcountry trails and you'll rarely see another person. Sunsets paint the entire landscape in deep reds and purples, creating a scene that feels completely otherworldly. Maroon Bells may not sound like a hidden gem, but timing changes everything. Visit early in the morning or late in the evening, outside peak hours, and the experience becomes something else entirely. Two iconic peaks rise above Maroon Lake, perfectly mirrored in the still water below. Fog often drifts through the valley at dawn, softening the landscape and creating a cinematic atmosphere few people ever witness. With the crowds gone, Maroon Bells transforms from a postcard spot into a quiet mountain sanctuary. Tucked into a narrow valley, Devil's Lake feels like a secret canyon in the middle of the Midwest. Steep quartzite cliffs rise dramatically above a deep blue lake, surrounded by forested hills. Hike up to the bluffs and you'll be rewarded with panoramic views that feel far more western than Midwestern. In autumn, the contrast between colorful forests and gray stone cliffs is stunning. In summer, the lake reflects the sky in calm, glassy layers. Running along Lake Superior's rugged coastline, the Northshore Scenic Drive offers one of the most underrated road trips in the United States. Waterfalls cascade through dense forests just steps from the road. Cliffs drop into the vast lake, creating dramatic viewpoints that feel endless. Stops like Gooseberry Falls and Split Rock Lighthouse provide cinematic scenery without overwhelming crowds, especially early in the day. This drive proves the Midwest has its own version of epic landscapes, if you know where to look. Montana is known for its wide-open spaces, but the true hidden gems lie beyond the main roads. In the backcountry around Big Sky, rolling meadows stretch toward distant mountain ranges, rivers wind quietly through valleys, and the scale of the landscape feels infinite. Sunsets here feel larger than life. The sky opens up, colors stretch endlessly, and silence becomes part of the experience. It's a reminder of how vast and untouched parts of the U.S. still are. The Ozark Highlands are often overlooked, but they're one of the most beautiful regions in the central United States. Rolling hills, dense forests, clear rivers, and hidden waterfalls define the landscape. In autumn, the Ozarks transform into a sea of warm colors, with winding roads cutting through the hills like ribbons. Small towns and quiet trails make this region feel welcoming and authentic. It's not flashy, it's peaceful, natural, and deeply underrated. The Midwest and mountain states don't need crowds, skyscrapers, or famous beaches to impress. Their beauty lies in silence, scale, and places that still feel undiscovered. If you're searching for true hidden gems in the United States, these regions deserve a spot at the top of your list. And if you want more cinematic travel guides like this, make sure to subscribe, because the journey doesn't stop here.